making the butterfly quilt.
Yes. With the
So,
midnight for the quilting in the back.
right. So you've pieced your quilt top first, and then you're going to put the quilting on it, and then you're going to add the applique for the butterfly.
Yeah.
And your measurements are not looking so good.
No, my borders came out really long.
Um, can you show me what you got?
Yeah. It's big.
I see another 3D quilt in the corner there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I am going to pull up one. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 big squares along the top. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little squares. Let me just pull up a picture of the butterfly quilt. You know what might actually be easier than this for me? Actually go grab the quilt, which is just around the corner there.
Because I made the blocks, the diamond blocks, and I put the number together that the instructions said to add XY plus XY.
Right.
And I had all my blocks used up. So,
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should have you got the exact same number. What? So it doesn't really. So the outside measure. What is the measurement of the piece of fabric inside the borders?
the center for the butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get my ruler.
And I will pull up the instructions here. Because it's looking really good. Okay.
Well, the finished size of the inside is about 37.5 by 28. And then I put the diamond border on in the outside border.
So tell me those numbers again.
37.5 by 28.
You're not far off. So where I'm looking, let me share my screen a second here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I am on page 18 of the Butterfly 100 quilt project. Hang tight 1 second. The kid keeps looking. You're not going to get any help right now because I'm on a Zoom call. She wants help getting dressed. Not happening right now, babe. Bye-bye. I love you. Have fun. Pictures. Okay. The kid is off to a concert this evening. It's nearly 1 o'clock and I don't know what time this concert starts. They go sit for hours and hours and hours in order to get good seats in the general admission. If you're paying for it, you might as well do the work. Bye-bye. Okay, so let's see. Once you've got your borders pieced together, so your side border is going to be approximately 27.5 inches long.
Right. But mine was 28. well, no, I don't know what. Mine has the same amount of large diamonds.
Right. Now, do your side borders, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big diamonds, 7 little diamonds.
6. Yeah. 6
Okay. And
and
so
7 little.
about 27.5 inches includes the 1/4 inch seam allowance on both ends here. So 27 inches from the point of the one small diagram along the side to the opposite point on the other side. We're looking about 27 inches from here to here.
Okay, because mine is about 28.5, but that doesn't include seam allowance.
Have you got the, have you, you have got them actually pieced on. So you're saying that from this corner here, like this corner, could you see the cursor? From this point here
Yeah,
to this point here, you're looking at about 28.
and that's the side, right?
Yeah, that's the side.
You know what? I need to go to my sewing room. The living room
And
is not working out for me.
and the other on the top and the bottom border across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 big diamonds and 9 little diamonds,
Yeah.
35 and 7/8 of an inch, which would equate to 35 and 3/8 of an inch without the seam allowance.
Um, 20, my
I'm
side is 28 and 5/8 maybe, and
okay.
then add a seam allowance.
Well, don't worry about the seam allowance, but
That's just what it measures sewn together.
so how big is an actual, how big is one of the big diamonds going to measure if you measure it as a square?
Um, it is 2 inches square.
And 4 inches square, hopefully.
For the
Well,
corner.
no, for you, let's
The
go.
big diamond is 2 inch square and the little diamond is 1 1/8 square.
It, I'm not sure if you measure, so the big diamonds on any of the borders, if you actually measure it as a square from side to side rather than as a diamond from point to point.
Right, like where is it? My yeah,
Not the
if I
square, not the squares in the corner,
no, the big diamonds they measure as a square, 2 inch square.
which we should be, because you've cut the piece, you do your
Right.
piece, strip piecing, and then cut 2.5 inch wide pieces,
Yep.
and the little guys you're cutting at 1.5 inch wide, so you should have 1 inch finished squares and 2 inch finished squares. I honestly don't know why you've got such a variation when you take them.
Because my little diamonds are 1 inch finished Well, they're actually, you know what? They're a little bit longer than they are. I see what's wrong. My little diamonds, they are 1 inch by 1 1/8.
Okay, that's a trimming error then,
Um,
or a seam allowance.
that's I think it's a cutting. When I cut my strips, and I cut them together. Where's that picture? Oh. Um, when I strip pieced
Mm-hmm.
my purple for the small diamond, when I cut them, I must not, they aren't square. They're 1 inch by 1 1/8. So when I cut them into sections, I must have been over 1/8 of an inch.
So cutting them at 5 5/8 instead of, or 1 5/8 instead of 1 1/2.
Yeah, because I don't know, where am I? Is when you hold it up there, the square is just slightly longer than it is wide.
Okay.
And now that I look at it, I can see that it is not quite square, but and they all seem to be that way. Well, no, well, no. Hmm. It must have been when I strip piece and I cut them into sections that I
So
cut them a
so
little bit
let's
too
talk
big.
about a couple of different ways that you could recover from this.
Okay.
One of them, which I don't like a whole lot at all, would be to unpick everything and trim and then resew the borders, which seems like that's going to be a lot of work.
Well, I would have to undo the whole, I would have to undo this whole border and
Mm-hmm.
re-strip piece. I'd have to start over.
So, given that that's not sounding like a really nice idea, because your piecing looks absolutely beautiful, I have to say.
Well,
What
yeah,
if,
for what that's worth.
so when you come to do the piecing and the applique, you're going to take the center part of the quilt, that so the piece that's inside the borders, and you're going to find the vertical center, the horizontal center. You're going to build your grid up based on that vertical and horizontal center. So you're going to have a little bit of extra space on the left and the right, and a little bit of extra space on the top and the bottom,
Okay.
right? What
Right, because
if,
I have my stabilizer measured out with the 0 JEDC intersections.
right? So if you get that stabilizer centered on your slightly oversized center of the quilt as you've pieced
Mhm.
it, you'll end up with a little bit of space around the outside that won't be quilted.
Of the butterfly. What about the borders?
Um, the
They're
borders
gonna,
are actually, so well, let's just figure out. So you'll
okay,
end up with, I think probably it sounds like about an inch all around
okay,
extra, or at least an inch on both sides, and maybe up half an inch or so on the top and the bottom. You could you could just do some straight line stitching kind of as a border around it, or depending on how your free motion skills are, you
not.
could, okay, not,
Well,
or
on a sewing machine, I guess
yeah,
I
you could do
could
it on,
try.
so you
Yeah.
could do, you know, you could do like just straight line quilting just to give you a little extra border, so a little quilted border around the center. Then for the borders, it would not be too big of an undertaking to stretch the design to fit.
Oh, yeah,
Because the border is a simple feather starting
yeah.
in the center, going to the one side, starting and going to the other side. So you should have a little bit of extra height to the borders, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember correctly, so that there's some that you will trim off. So as well as
Oh,
extending the border out lengthways, extend it up a little bit height-wise as well.
okay,
And then you can
okay.
make those borders fit. And I don't think anybody who sees the quilt will know that those borders have been stretched a little bit.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I thought because it's 4 inches wider and 3 inches taller than what it's supposed to be, but you add an eighth of an inch,
It mounts up.
however many it's that's why I have an extra 7 inches. Woo!
It mounts up. So keep do everything create the center as you would have done if everything was the correct size. And then you've just got a little bit of quilting to do around the outside edge, which I think if you did some straight lines down the sides and along the top, maybe
Okay,
even a 1/4 inch apart, or do, like you could do a pair of lines an eighth of an inch apart, and then a 1/4 inch, and then an eighth of an inch,
hmm,
and an eighth of an inch, right? And that will
right.
add, I think that could add a really pretty quilted border.
Okay, okay.
And then you can just stretch the feather quilting that goes in the outside border.
Okay, I will do that.
Because your
But
piecing
instead,
looks beautiful. It would be such a shame to have to redo all of that.
well, I'm not real sure I'm up for redoing all of that because, well, now that I know how to do it, wouldn't take long, but I don't have any more white. I was trying to use up what I have. And this is what color the butterfly is going to be
Oh, wow.
Ooh, pretty.
Oh, wow.
with the teal and the
Beautiful.
turquoise diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the teal, turquoise, and purple diamond. I I
Beautiful.
just can't wait to finish it.
That is going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it might be a little spacious, but it'll be okay.
It's going to be fabulous. And I'm
Yeah.
going to wait I'm going to be excited to see it when it's finished.
All right. I will give my border design quilting a little stretch.
Okay. It's all going to be great.
It will. It's mine.
Come back and show us when you're finished.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Shirley. It's good to see you again.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.